so we've gotten the call, so we're going live. Not that we're ready to go at 7:30, but
Okay, Brian is on the Zoom call.
that was the key individual.
Brian.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So that being said, this is the one that came in late. Do we want to read that into the record? Because oh, when did that one come in? Yesterday?
Just to mention it.
Mention.
Yeah.
What's that?
Just
At
mention.
least mention it. Yeah.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Even though it's been part of the act since the get-go?
For the viewing audience.
No,
Yeah.
that one came after the case was continued
This one came late too?
since the last meeting.
Since the last
I agree
meeting.
that further conversations, but remember, as here today, I mean, we're not court of law, but at the same
Right.
time.
Right.
Maybe with this one, we just say generally speaking, the conversation, people getting that out.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, when they're, I mean, it's kind of like hearsay evidence.
Totally, absolutely, there's the,
Yeah.
so then we always say we're not court of law.
Yeah, well,
That is the definition of hearsay.
right,
Yeah, how about we just read in,
Alan, I love the ocean view.
this one?
right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
That's
sure
downtown Chicago.
This might be-
Oh.
Then we will be bound by it.
It's over by Northwestern.
Second email is inadmissible hearsay.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All right. If you're ready, you can.
We have a full board.
We have everybody, yes.
We're according to Mac, 7:30.
All right.
All right, good evening, everybody. We'll go ahead and we'll adjourn this meeting for the Village of Skokie Zoning Board of Appeals. Due to current circumstances, there's a little something I'd like to read into the record. And it goes like this. Until further notice, meetings of the Skokie Zoning Board of Appeals will be held electronically with the majority of the members participating via remote access in order to comply with the State of Illinois stay-at-home order and pursuant to Village Code concerning electronic participation. Members of the public who wish to comment as to an item on the published agenda or to comment during public comments must submit their statements or questions in writing to the village manager's office, and all properly submitted statements or questions will be presented and read during the relevant portion of the meeting. Written comments may be submitted by email to citizencomments, that's all one word, @skokie.org, or by mail to the Village of Skokie, Village Manager's Office, 5127 Oakton Street, Skokie, Illinois, 60077, or via the Village's Dropbox location by the public entry to Village Hall. Okay. And now we'll go ahead with our normal and usual opening. So I'd like to welcome everybody to this meeting of the Village of Skokie Zoning Board of Appeals. The Zoning Board of Appeals is created by the statutes of the state of Illinois and by the ordinances of the Village of Skokie for the purpose of granting proper case relief from the strict terms of our zoning ordinances. The decision of this board to either grant or deny relief will be based upon the evidence presented to it and how that evidence is related to the standards for granting relief. All persons who have an interest in a case, either as a petitioner or as a member of the public, either supporting or opposing the petition or as an independent witness, will be given a chance to speak on the record and to express his or her points of view. The Zoning Board of Appeals is not a court of law, and therefore we do not follow the strict rules of evidence. However, this hearing will be conducted in such a manner as to hear only competent evidence or statements. Questions as to procedure, interpretation, and of the admissibility of statements or evidence will be ruled upon by Corporation Counsel Tyler Kobilski, and his legal decisions will be binding upon this board. Certain cases require a covenant running with the land. This will be prepared and recorded by the Village of Skokie Legal Department, and this is done at the petitioner's expense. Whether or not a covenant is required is a determination to be made by the Corporation Counsel at the conclusion of each individual case. If the covenant running with the land is required, it cannot or will not be prepared until our court reporter has returned to the Zoning Board of Appeals a transcript of these proceedings. The Village of Skokie will notify each petitioner when the covenant has been prepared and is ready for signature. No building permits or certificates of occupancy can be issued until the covenant is signed by the petitioner. Should a petition for variation be denied, or should a covenant not be required, the Board of Trustees will authorize a refund of any required fees. Should it be necessary for the petitioner to request a continuance due to lack of preparation, a case continuation fee of 1/2 of the original application fee is due prior to the rehearing date. This request must be made before any testimony begins. All petitioners must receive a vote of the majority of the zoning board present in order to decide any matter under consideration. Our full complement is 9 members, and tonight's complement is 9 members?
9 members.
9 members, okay. All right, just making sure. I gotta check in with the Zoom administrator on that one. So tonight's complement is a full complement of 9 members, making 5 votes necessary to make a determination on a petition. Okay, all right, tonight we have one case, 2020-02Z, 7019 Laurel Avenue. And in that particular case, I'll ask Corporation Counsel, has proper notice been served and notarized?
Notice is proper and correct.
All right, great, thank you so much. Okay, all right, before we get into the meat and potatoes of Commissioner Kirkpatrick presenting that case, we do have a little house cleaning to do here, and that would be the approval of our prior meeting's minutes, which was the meeting date of July 1st, and that was the case 2020-01Z, 45 Salem Lane, over in the lovely New England Village area. The petition to, the motion to grant was approved unanimously, and the board will enter, the board will take a motion to approve the minutes as written.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Gersner. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, Commissioner Jacobson, great, thank you. All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
All right, great,
Aye.
okay. Anybody nay? No, okay, good. No horses in here. All right, thank you, and thank you, Marlene, as always. Okay, great. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll go right into the presentation of 2020-02Z 7019 Laurel Avenue. And this, again, this case has been assigned to Commissioner Kirkpatrick. So Sharon, I see you on the Zoom screen there. So feel free to take it away, Sharon, please.
Okay. Danny Rakovic of Professional Jet Services LLC requests a variation in order to install a sidewalk resulting in an impermeable surface coverage of 80.6% rather than the 50% maximum as required by Section 118-122C of the Skokie Village Code in an R2 single-family district. The petitioner's statement is not exactly traditional. It's really just answers to the questions that are on the application. So I'm not sure how you, if you want me to just read the question and the answer.
Wait, what do you say, Corporation Council? Okay, yeah, just. Yeah, Sharon, according to Tyler here, it'd probably be adequate just to read the answer.
Okay, the answers are, maybe, well, you tell me. True, 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 true. Will be an enhancement to safety. True. 7019 Laurel Avenue gangway does not have a sidewalk. 7001 does.
Okay. Well, that was informative. Okay.
I can only read what I have.
Right. Well said. Yeah, play a survey. Would you like, I mean, we have the staff report. Would you like to read the reviews that were sent, and the respondents were the Civil Engineering Division and Community Development?
Okay. The Civil Engineering Division does not believe the proposed improvements will negatively affect the existing system. In addition, a majority of the site is not tributary to the stormwater system. The eastern border of the site naturally drains to the east towards Fairview South School and not towards the parking lot. Community Development, based on Civil Engineering's comment, the Community Development has no objections to the petitioner's request. The site was originally zoned R4 multifamily housing and was rezoned to R2 single family to prevent condominiums from being constructed. It appears the townhome development was built by court order. Townhomes are special use in the R2 zoning district, and no special use permit is on file for this development. The townhome development exceeds the impermeable surfaces regulations in the R2 zoning district. The proposed walkway would place the impermeable surface coverage at 80.6%. The site does contain stormwater detention in the parking lot and is noted by Civil Engineering. The eastern portion of the site drains toward the Fairview South Playground. Staff feels the proposed brick walk is preferable over a concrete walk. The brick walk will allow for some absorption where the concrete or asphalt would have none. Do you want me to read the staff recommendation?
Not at this particular time. Well, I think we'll address that once we have the petitioner give testimony, because I see that there are certain conditions that may be attached that would directly affect the possible approval of his request. That being said, also too, there was some late information that came in that we received in our packet, and Corporation Council and I have agreed that this is pertinent information that should be read into the record. So I'll let Tyler go ahead and note what these pieces are, who they're from, and how they pertain to the petitioner's request. So,
Do you want me to read the citizen comments or just in engineering right now?
well, go ahead and read the citizen comments, and then let's save the engineering one for the last.
We have a citizen comment from Rob Gerson of 7020 Laurel Avenue. He states that he's concerned that a permanent impermeable sidewalk will increase the number of gallons of water runoff that eventually drains into the detention basin behind his home. And the capacity of the detention basin was calculated at the time of Kingston Estates, which was built in the late 80s. And based on the existing design of the property surrounding each unit, it often fails or fills to the brim. And he inquired as to whether garden stepping stones or permeable pavers could be used instead. And we also have an email from Keith and Flo Schulman, which state that we live in the complex and are concerned because the land where the sidewalk is being installed is not flat, and that therefore, due to the impermeable material, water during a rainstorm may run off and accumulate in large puddles, potentially causing breeding ground for mosquitoes or other problems. To our knowledge, no inspection of the landscape has been done to ensure the water runoff won't pose a danger or a problem. We are fine with the installation of the sidewalk as long as there is an appropriate engineer/inspection to ensure that the aforementioned problems are addressed. And then we have an email from the senior engineer of the Village of Skokie who states that civil engineering does not object to this request. The sidewalk will be a paver sidewalk, which is more permeable than concrete or asphalt. In addition, the sidewalk and the general site drainage will be inspected during and after construction to ensure positive drainage, which would prohibit ponding, and that he does not expect any issues from this request.
All right, great. Thank you, Tyler. Okay, well, why don't we get the petitioner on?
Hold on, I'll unmute.
I'm waiting. Okay?
He needs to unmute.
Yeah, there we go.
Good evening, Commissioners. Danny Rackridge with Professional Jet Services present.
Hi, good evening, sir. How are you? Again, you just told us your name, Mr. Rakovic, but can you tell us your name and spell it so we may have it for the record?
Affirmative. It's Danny, D-A-N-N-Y, Rakovich, R-A-K-O-V-I-C, property owner of 7019 Laurel.
Okay, great, fantastic. All right, and this will be fun, but we're going to have you do this. If you would, please raise your hand. Right hand? Okay, great. Do you affirm that the testimony you are about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge or belief? Please answer in the affirmative.
Affirmative.
All right, great, thank you. All right, well, you're sworn in. You've recognized yourself as a property owner. You spelled your last name. So please tell us why we're all here doing this Zoom meeting tonight.
Okay, so I have a statement prepared that I would like to read, and if there's any questions afterward, we could go ahead and address them
Okay.
one at a time.
Yeah, please proceed.
Okay, good evening, Commissioners. Our proposed 40-inch sidewalk of pavers will be ADA compliant and is only a safe alternative to access the rear patio deck for my mom, guests, with persons with wheelchair scooters, walkers, canes, crutches, etc. The sidewalk will provide a level, hard surface to travel from the front driveway to the back patio deck without everyone having to go through a non-ADA compliant car garage that goes through a main door, non-ramped step, narrow utility rooms, family rooms, and sliding doors. Access via the front door is also out of the question because of the multitude of steps inside and out. Granting this variance will be the first step in working towards resolving this problem.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So that's it for your statement?
I could answer whatever other questions one may have.
Okay.
Then basically, the main reason is to have access to the back, which is impossible to access any other way through the house due to the multiple levels and stairs.
Okay. All right, great. Sounds simple enough. Let's ask Commissioner Kirkpatrick, since it's her case it's her case to present tonight. Let's ask Commissioner Kirkpatrick about her feelings on the request.
Yeah, well, I believe there's already pavers on the side of the house, so going around the back would, make sense, and now that I know why it's requested, in the, times we find ourselves, I think people have to be outside, and that's one way to make that easier for people, so I think it's a good idea.
Okay, great. Does anybody have any requests for the petitioner at all? Questions, comments? I see a lot of smiling faces up on my screen.
I just see that if they're putting pavers in, then it will take in the water, where a concrete or asphalt would not. And it'll look nice, so I have no objection to it.
Right. Yeah, and that's a good point that Commissioner Gerstner's making. Mr. Rakovic, part of the recommendation that we have here from staff is that the walkway must be brick paver and cannot be concrete or asphalt. So would you be okay with that being a condition of approving your request?
Affirmative. That was one of the stipulations that the association and the management company that allowed for the paver project was that stipulation. They wanted it to be of pavers and not inhibit any possible utility digging that would anything else would be more difficult to excavate if some electrical or gas, because everything runs underground. So that was one of the requirements before I was able to go to the next step, was getting the association and the Hillcrest management to approve this project. So with their blessing, the next step was the variance, and after the variance is the permit, and then obviously once it's all done, it's going to get the final village approval.
Okay, great. And as Corporation Counsel read into the record, there was some concerns by some of your fellow residents about the ponding and stuff of that nature. You don't see this being an issue at all with the pavers, or unless staff might want to address that?
This request was almost a year in the making. There were several meetings, and the petitioner of 70220 had plenty of opportunities to express her concern during the 3 meetings throughout the course of the year to express this, and the board already voted that they have no problem with this project moving on, and it's kind of like, oh, too soon, smart, too late, and the board.
Oh, okay, so the people that oversee the Kingston Estates complex, they have no problem with this, is what you're saying?
No. I mean, that's, they already approved it. So
They
I'm
did,
just
okay.
with the motions to comply with the variance because of the permeable. I mean, that whole development's overbuilt. I mean, there is no. There's obvious some sort of exemption that happened when when those townhouses were built, because it's all asphalt.
Right.
And on that gangway between my front driveway and that accesses the back patio, there is a drain that where it slopes down into the front driveway, and then there's another sewer drain that drains on our property. It doesn't spill into Fairview, so there is a drainage retention system in place.
Okay.
So the water wouldn't even really absorb; it would just roll into these retention drains that feed into this open lot in the middle of the estate.
Oh, okay. So in other words, it's really a non-issue to worry about ponding or flooding.
And there's strategic sewer drains where all this water goes into, and then it feeds it right into this open lot right in the middle of the Kingston Estates.
Okay, all right, very good.
Yeah, to to reiterate that point, I had several meetings with Russ Reitfeld, our senior engineer. We did look at the topographic grades on the property, on our records, with our mapping, and some of the land does pitch to the east towards Fairview, and the portion that does pitch west, adjacent to the property owner's unit, would pitch in towards the parking lot into the drain, into the pavement, into the asphalt parking lot, which does have storm sewer. So the senior engineer didn't feel that this would negatively impact the surrounding properties or overly burden the existing system on site.
Okay. All right, so you're fine with just making the walkway being a brick paver the only condition for approval on this request?
Yeah, correct. Yes, correct. Staff
Right.
is okay with that being the loan condition.
Cool, awesome, good. Yes, Matt, is there something going on? I see Carrie pointing,
No,
Did we get any other comments?
yeah, any other?
that's my cue. There is no,
Yeah.
there's no further comments.
No further comments, no further comments from the Dell computer over there, okay. Any other comments or questions for the petitioner?
Oh, I just received,
Whoop, hold on one second.
that's interesting. Yeah, the HOA board approved a walking path, not an impermeable sidewalk. And that is from Rob Grierson, who was also one of the people.
So they approved a walking path,
Not an impermeable.
not an impermeable surface.
Not an
but-
impermeable, yeah, sidewalk.
Well, if we put brick pavers down, that isn't an impermeable surface per se.
Yeah, there's a factor of permeability.
You're right.
But, to the point, I think the applicant was saying that it really depends on the intensity of the rainfall and the type of travel, and whether or not it's gonna soak in.
Right.
There are instances where it would just sheet flow right off.
Right.
But, it's still better than asphalt or concrete.
Yeah, unquestionably. Okay, all right, well, we've addressed that issue.
And ultimately, we can approve and grant the request. The owner's gonna have to work with the association on the final approval, what can be installed.
Right. Yeah, that's true as well. Yep, that's right. Thank you for pointing that out, Brian. That kind of almost takes the onus off of our back as well anyway. Okay, any other questions for the petitioner? Any further comments? Okay, if not, Sharon, the chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I propose the following in the granting of a variance to the petitioner as follows. That Professional Jet Services is the owner of the lot described in case number 2020-02Z for the property located at 7019 Laurel Avenue, Skokie, Cook County, Illinois. That said lot is a platted lot of record and is abutted by townhomes on the east and west. That a determination has been made in which the petitioner's request is consistent with the majority of the findings of fact as stated in the Village of Skokie zoning chapter. I therefore propose that a variance be granted to the petitioner for giving failure to comply with the requirements of the zoning ordinance of the Village of Skokie as amended as to impermeable surface. That the petitioner be granted the variance to construct a sidewalk resulting in an impermeable surface coverage of 80.6% rather than the 50% maximum lot coverage by impermeable surfaces, Chapter 118, 122C, provided that the walkway must be brick paver and cannot be concrete or asphalt. That all other codes and ordinances of the Village of Skokie shall be fully and strictly complied with.
Okay, great. I have a motion to approve with the condition that has been stated. And I think you mentioned that east and west.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's north and south. East is Fairview School and west is Village
Yeah, okay.
Crossing, according to the staff
I
report.
couldn't
But
remember what direction I was facing when I was there.
okay. But north and south is the residences. So
Okay.
other than that, it's all good. All right, we have a motion to approve with condition. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Gerstner, thank you so much. Okay, the chair will go ahead and call the roll then. Commissioner Salvi, you're out there somewhere?
If you can unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself, David. Oh, hold on.
Wait, hold on. Unmute.
Okay, David, you there? I see him up there, but we can't hear him. David Salvi, are you there? Participating by phone?
Or maybe mutes on his phone.
I don't know. Okay,
Call back.
we'll come back to Commissioner Salvi. All right. Commissioner Arden, are you there?
Yes.
All right, very good. Thank you, Sean. So you vote aye or nay on the?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Aye, thank you, Sean. Okay, Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Aye.
All right. Commissioner Jacobson, you're here, so that's easy.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Gerstner?
Aye?
All right. Commissioner Shaw?
Yes.
Okay. And I'd like to, in the midst of this, I'd like to give a warm welcome to Commissioner Billy Heidel. So, Billy, what's your response to this?
I'm an aye.
You're an aye, all right. Okay. Commissioner Perlin?
Yes.
Okay. And the chair will vote aye. And so all we're missing is Commissioner Salvi.
Oh, we just, oh, he's there. We shifted.
Can you hear me now?
Oi! Commissioner Salvi, there he is.
I vote yes.
All right, thank you so much, David. Boy,
Thank you.
I thought we lost you there for a second. I saw you up on the screen, but we just couldn't hear you. Incommunicado, to say the least. Okay, so, all right, so that's it. So the motion to grant with condition has been passed unanimously. Corporation Counsel, what does the petitioner need to know from here on out?
We're going to prepare a covenant running with the land, and it should be ready within the next couple of weeks for the property owner's signature.
Okay, great. All right, that's it, Mr. Rakovic. Your motion's been approved, so good luck with the construction.
You all for your time.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you. Okay, great. So, that is it. Another happy ending. So our next meeting will not be August 19th, nor will it be September 2nd. So I'm gonna ask, our staff here that I see on the screen, it says our next regularly scheduled meeting will take place on September 16th, 2020, or might it still not take place on September 16th, 2020?
We have no official cases at this time, a couple potential cases, but nothing official. There's still some time to apply.
Okay, all right. So we might not have a meeting on September 16th either, but Brian, when would we know about that? Just for the edification of the board? Oh. Wednesday? Wednesday's the deadline for the 16th. Okay.
12th or 13th, we should have a very good idea.
Okay, all right, good. All right, well, thank you. We'll see what, we'll see what we will see. So, okay, well, that's it. Anybody else have anything else to say? If not, Alan, I love your background on your, what is that, like a beach in Hawaii or something?
No, I took that the other day. That is on the landfill over by Northwestern, looking toward the city. You can see right here, that's downtown Chicago.
Right, awesome.
I was riding my bike along the bike trail there, and it just looked so pretty. I took the picture.
That's.
I like Billy's background.
Yeah, the northern.
Aurora Borealis?
Yeah, the northern lights are a nice touch, Billy.
He's
Yeah.
up in Greenland.
You've seen it?
I haven't.
That'd be a very interesting thing to see at some point.
You and me are gonna go and look at it
You
someday
got
soon.
it. You got it. My pleasure. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, Alan, that backdrop should be something that Tom Skilling has, and
Right.
during
I'll
his
send
report.
it to
You'll
him.
love it.
Yeah.
You'll love it.
All right, well, thank you so much, everybody, for the Zoom participation. Sharon, thank you for presenting the case. Appreciate everything that everybody does in these times of tumult and uncertainty. And that all being said, this meeting of the Village of Skokie Zoning Board of Appeals is adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.